Who would give this lovely bride away?
For Mother and I.
Please be seated. We want to welcome everyone to this special occasion for Bread and Emily. What a special day this is. I am Bishop Nelson, one of Brett's former bishops, and have been asked to conduct this ceremony. It's a privilege and an honor for me to do so. As you know, Brett and Emily were previously sealed and married in the Brigham City Temple. And so if I could take just a few minutes, I'd like to explain what happened in the temple and what temples are all about. Temples are literally houses of the Lord, just as in ancient days. Therein, sacred ordinances are administered that enable worshipers to receive eternal life and exaltation and reside in the presence of the Father and the Son. The English word temple derived from the Latin templum, which anciently meant sacred place. A place marked for the observations, or for the observation of the heavens, where signs and portents originated and from where God answered humans. A temple was in place where sacred matters occurred involving gods and mortals. The word related to temple is template. Both come from the same Latin root. A template is a pattern, which is a helpful way to think about the temple. The temple is a pattern for our journey back to God's presence. We go to the temple to be informed and corrected, to be built up, and to be blessed. Temples are a place of missionary labor for those who have passed on. Temples are places of personal reflection and revelation. Temples are places of security and protection in mortality. Temples are places of eternal linking. Families are linked together forever. In Matthew, apostolic authority and priesthood power was given to Peter, and he was told that whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever thou shalt loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. The power of which Jesus spoke is known as the sealing power. To seal an ordinance is to make it valid and binding, both on earth and in heaven. It is only through the grace of God and the sealing power that family relationships may continue beyond the grave. So that's just a brief overview of what temples are, why we have temples, and what happens inside these temples. They are very sacred edifices. And to enter the temple, one needs to be worthy to enter those edifices. And so as Fred and Emily went to the temple this day, they were sealed, what is known as for time and all eternity. Typically when a marriage is performed by a clergy, it is done for time, which we know is the time that we spend here on the earth. Through priesthood power and the authority given from God, we are able to seal couples such as Brett and Emily for eternity. They have been sealed together forever. Any children that are born in this union will be theirs forever, sealed to them as well. So blessings temples are a great blessing in our lives. And so that is what happens in a temple. I thought I'd take just a minute as well and talk about rings, wedding rings. What the significance of these rings really are, and what they mean. Since ancient times, marriages have been symbolized by the wearing of a ring. Usually worn by the wife, they were given as a token of possession. Once ringed, she was no longer available to circulate amongst the men. And we'll talk about this possession thing. Don't get too. It is true that a wedding ring is a token of possession, but rather than symbolizing a man possessing a woman, it is the woman's possession of something valuable given by the man. So that's where the possession comes in. Hence the current practice of using precious metal such as gold, platinum, or titanium. So